Hello, everybody, and welcome to Week 7 of the East vs. West NFL Pick Challenge. My name is Bigtime Mike. Alongside me, Mr. Johnny H. And we are finally back on the couch for the first time in 2 weeks together. I missed you.
I don't know if I can say the same.
Oh,
No, I'm kidding. I missed you too, bro.
well, it's great to have you back. It's great to be back together
That's right.
and doing our picks together. And yes, as some of you see, that I got another piece of metal stuck in my mouth. Yeah, new piercing. I love piercings. So, with that being said, last week, some surprise games, some more surprise games, I should say. I always say that there's some surprise games.
I agree to that.
A lot of good games, and we started off with the Thursday nighter between the Eagles and the Panthers.
That was a surprise game. I think so.
Oh, a huge
Because it
game.
was in Carolina. That's why I think it was a surprise game.
But a huge game nonetheless.
Yeah.
The Eagles literally had their backs against the wall in a sense because, as a lot of you have probably seen in the news, that the Eagles, the referees in that game, there's been some allegations that this referee, this head umpire, whatever you want to call him, this is the third time that he tried to, I should say in a nicer way, screw the Eagles over in a football game. Second time in 5 years against the Panthers. But nonetheless, Carson Wentz controlled the offense. The defense looked good. They controlled Cam Newton in the pocket. Mm-hmm. Great performance by Philadelphia. And right now, as we sit, currently, because of the Thursday night game that we will talk about in a little bit between the Chiefs and the Raiders, the Eagles now sit as the best team in the league at the moment.
Who would have thought? I mean, seriously, who would have thought that?
Well, honestly, I'll say this right now. With this football team, I really, really am surprised that they are the best team in the league because you have so many different personalities on that football team. You have Alshon Jeffrey, Torrey Smith, LeGarrette Blount, Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
You have the offensive line, who surprisingly is the best offensive line in the league all of a sudden. And they're playing, and I've been saying this for the past couple weeks, they are playing next man up mentality with Ronald Darby out. Now, he's coming back this week. Their whole defensive backfield are second string guys in Rasul Douglas and Patrick Robinson. Mm-hmm. The linebacking core was hurting for a while. Jordan Hicks was out. You had Fletcher Cox, who came back for the first time in 2 weeks. This defense just playing next man up mentality and winning football games and playing to the eliteness. And I don't just say that because obviously I'm an Eagles fan. Yes, I don't have my Eagles shirt on today. I have my Walking Dead, This Is Lucille, She Is Awesome shirt, Negan shirt for the getting ready for this week because it is the premiere of Season 8 of The Walking Dead, and I am so excited for this.
We didn't plan not wearing jerseys. I was just happened to be filming an episode of my other show, Beat the Scalpers, and I didn't have enough time to get back home to grab a jersey, so I'm going to Sheldon it today.
And I decided to stick with my Negan shirt today because of the fact Johnny H ain't wearing a jersey. I'm going to stick with my Negan shirt because of the fact that The Walking Dead starts this Sunday. Season 8, 100th episode. Very anticipated for this season. I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm a huge fan. Big thing is we got football on Sunday.
Yes.
We got WWE TLC, which was supposed to be the return of the Shield.
Sunday will be a packed day.
Day.
Yes,
And then we got The Walking Dead. Huge day.
Yep.
Nonetheless, well, let's get back to Week 6 for a second here. That Panthers-Eagles game was just an amazing game. And then we move on to Sunday with a huge downer in the NFL. And I will say this myself. 8 years ago, became an Eagles fan. I was a Packers fan before that. And
why would you do that? You go from the Packers to the Eagles. That's like being a Patriots fan and then becoming a Browns fan.
Well, it happens. And it happens in life. And, you know. It just happens. And
decided to root for the home team.
Much so. And just like I'm a Phillies fan, just like I'm a Flyers fan, the only team I like out of state is the North Carolina Tar Heels in basketball. Go Heels, national champions this year. But the thing is, it's very, very upsetting to see AR-12 go down, Aaron Rodgers.
I know. I had him on one of my fantasy teams.
But much respect for him because he is literally by far one of the best quarterbacks in the league. To see him go down, Brett Hundley's coming in to take over now.
Good luck. You're going to need it.
It's going to be a mountain for this team to climb. It's going to be a mountain.
They're done.
I wouldn't necessarily say the Packers are done.
I will. Huntley? No. They should have signed. They should have brought Kaepernick in.
A lot of people would oppose to that. All you anti-NFL fans because of kneeling.
A lot of people are idiots. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to elaborate that. But
nonetheless, Aaron Rodgers, hopefully you get better soon. Hopefully you come back and get back to your competing level. Best wishes to him getting better. And I will say that because of the fact that Aaron Rodgers has earned a lot of respect from not only myself, but a lot of people around the league that like other teams. He's a great role model as well for the league.
He might be a top 10 quarterback overall.
I would say a top 5 quarterback overall.
I wouldn't put him up there.
I'd go overall. I'd go top 5. Mm-hmm. But nonetheless, him going down was a huge loss for the Packers as they fell to the Vikings 23-10 in a big NFC North game. A huge game for positioning because you got the Vikings, you got the Packers, and you got Detroit, who are all 4-2 right now, and just sitting. Who's going to take that top spot? And then you got the Bears.
Probably Detroit.
Well, I mean, you even got the Bears, who
no, they don't have a chance.
I'm not going to say they're going to have a chance, but Mitch Trubisky in his first 2 football games has not looked bad at all.
No, he hasn't.
He has not looked bad. He actually got a win last week.
Yeah,
he got the win. Who the hell did they play last week? The Ravens.
I don't have my numbers with me.
They played the Ravens. They lost to the Ravens actually 27-24.
My notebook is
my
finished.
fault, but still hell of a game. I mean, to put up 24 points in the week before to lose to the Vikings on Monday Night Football. What was that? 23-20, 24-21. It was still the kid's going to get up there. I would give him maybe a year or two, but he's showing progress. Another close game in the NFL, and you're going to be surprised by this, and I want you to talk about this a little bit. I want you to bring in on this. The San Francisco 49ers and the Washington Redskins, 26-24 final.
They had that game. They literally... This is like the 4th or 5th game that they could not close out at the end. And I'm fine with that. 0-16. Somebody asked me, well, why don't you want your team to win? And I looked at them and I said, look, why would I want them to win when if they somehow have a magical year and make the playoffs, they're going to be one and done? That defeats the purpose of getting better. No Cinderella story. 0-16, first overall pick. That's what I want to see. And then let's draft some offense. Okay? Let's draft some offense.
Well,
the one good thing about that, Brian Hoyer finally got pulled. C.J. Beathard was in there, and he did not look bad for a rookie. So I am thrilled I can finally see what the rookie can do. So let's see something happen.
Well, they definitely got a huge matchup this week, which we're going to talk about in a bit, against the Cowboys. It's going to be a huge matchup.
Help them, please. Because Ezekiel Elliott's going to run all over them.
Another game that turned out not too bad until the ending was the Monday Nighter between the Colts and Titans.
See, to be honest with you, I didn't see much football because I was on vacation, so I had a jam-packed schedule.
See, I've seen a hell of a lot of football.
I saw the last 9 seconds of the 49ers game. I just happened to step outside where I was and put it on my phone just to see what the score was, so I saw their near trying to come back, but that was it.
Well, the Colts and Titans, nonetheless, was a good game up until the last maybe 5 minutes, and then the Titans decided, hey, we're going to run away with this game. But
as they should have. They were playing the Colts.
It was a rough week for both of us, actually. John went 5-9.
Yeah, I didn't have a good week.
Rough week, and I went 3-11. Not surprising, I know.
Thank you, Aaron Rodgers, for one of those losses.
That'll put me at 38-53 on the year, where John is 56-35 on the year. He is plus 18. Plus 18. Now
that's a 1 followed by an 8. 2 less than 20.
But a plus 18. But if we go into this week, week 7, the Thursday Nighter, John took the Chiefs, I took the Raiders. Hell of a game.
Thank you, NFL, for giving the Raiders too many damn chances to win when there was no time on the clock. Jeez, they really extended that game.
Well, I got the win on this one.
I know you did.
Because I took the Raiders.
It was a hard-fought matchup.
That puts me minus 17 unofficially. But going into this week already, I'm 1-0. John's 0-1.
For now.
But let's
about to run the table and win out the rest.
Let's get kicking with Week 7. And we're going to start off with the 1 o'clockers. We got the Minnesota Vikings and the Baltimore Ravens. John, who are you taking?
All right, for starters, I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens. For this one, Sam Bradford still isn't back. They don't even know if he's going to come back this year. Bridgewater just started practicing slowly. They want to see if he's going to come back, but it still will be Case Keenum. And with Stephon Diggs out, that's going to hurt their offense. They're already handicapped enough with Bradford not in there. So I have to go with the Ravens, even though Macklin looks like he's going to be a game-time decision. It looks like their running game is somewhat getting better now that West has pretty much worked himself out of being the starter. So the Baltimore defense should be able to handle that battered Minnesota offense, I think.
I also went with Baltimore. The Ravens, obviously I haven't seen too much of this team this year, but obviously they are getting better as the weeks go on, possibly a wild card team. The NFC North is a huge, tight division right now. But I went with Baltimore just because of the fact, again, Sam Bradford's out. Teddy Bridgewater's coming back. If Teddy Bridgewater even starts this week, or even gets in, I don't think he's going to... The thing is, he's going to have to get hit to really... It's almost like wrestling, ring rust. Well, this is going to be field rust for him.
Yeah.
He's going to have to get hit and get used to it. Case Keenum getting the start. I mean, last week, Bradford got the start. Bradford got out. Keenum came in. The Viking defense is probably going to be the only thing that's going to hold this team up. But the thing is, like, you know that saying, the defense wins championships, but the offense puts up the points. And I don't think their offense is going to do much, with Diggs, especially with Diggs being out. So I also went with the Ravens. We move on to the next game, the Saints and the Packers. And again, we talked about this, Aaron Rodgers being out, Brent Hundley being the starter. This is going to be his first NFL start. This is going to be a tough one for the Packers. The Saints, week by week, are getting better offensively and defensively. I will have to sit here and say, and I'm sorry, Green Bay fans, but I am going with New Orleans on this game.
Are you copying my picks? Because I went with the Saints as well. And for the exact reason, as Mike just stated, no Aaron Rodgers will most likely mean no win for the Packers. Expect me to pick against Green Bay. I will give them the Cleveland Browns and San Francisco 49ers treatment, most likely for the rest of the year. So, no Rodgers, big problem.
So we kick back in to an AFC matchup, an AFC East matchup between the Jets and the Dolphins. This matchup has always been a very memorable matchup to watch, and a lot of people that don't pay attention to this matchup, you're missing out. The way I look at it, because I know these two teams, when they're on the field together, they shine. They play very, very well against each other. Nonetheless, and I'm saying this right now, the Dolphins have their backs against the wall, and I will say that because they have their backs against the wall every week up until the playoffs, even if they make it that far, because of the fact that they are on a 16-week schedule.
Yeah,
I mean, week one, bye week.
Brutal. That and the Bucs, that's brutal.
The Jets, they're a floppy team. They won a couple games. But I'm going to say this right now. I have a feeling that the Dolphins are going to win this game. It's not going to be by much. The Dolphins are going to win this football game. I'm going with Miami Dolphins.
See, this game was a very, very hard game for me to pick. Just because, first off, I went with the Jets. The Jets, to me, have been one of the surprise teams this year. I mean, their wins haven't been pretty, but don't forget they played the Dolphins in either, I believe it was week 1 or 2, and they just wiped the floor with them. That was in New York. Now it's in Miami. I really don't see why they can't do that again, especially with Jay Cutler as the Dolphins quarterback and Jay Ajayi. His knee is just getting sore and sore every week, and it's showing in his production. So you make Cutler beat you. If I was the Jets, that's exactly what I would do. Make Cutler beat you, and I'm going with the Jets.
All right, so we kick in with the Panthers and the Bears. Like I said earlier, Mitch Trubisky he's getting better as the weeks go on. He's not looking too bad controlling that Bears offense, and I think, honestly, he might actually have like a Carson Wentz mentality type of career in a sense, if he continues playing the way he's playing. And what I mean by a Carson Wentz mentality is Carson Wentz last year, a week before the season started, Sam Bradford gets traded.
Oh, yeah.
Comes in as a starter. He had a week to prepare with the Team 1 offense. Mitch Trubisky had the same thing. A week before his first start, gets told, hey, you're going to start. So he had to get out there and take Team 1 reps and try and get used to the Team 1. Now, he's not looking too bad. They're losing games, but he's not looking too bad. And he might have a semi-Carson Wentz similarity type of career if the Bears decide to go out and get some players for him. With that being said, again, having the preparations, but the Panthers, they're coming off a loss that was set up for them to win. And I say set up because of the fact of the whole allegations with the referees and everything like that. That game was set up for the Panthers to win on Thursday night against the Eagles. I'm sorry to say that, but
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about allegations, so that's just me.
It's been all over the internet. It's been all over the internet, all over NFL.com, all over everything, and they're actually looking into it and the possibilities of those referees not reffing an Eagles game. But
they shouldn't ref period if they're trying to rig games.
I'm going to put my faith this week in Mitch Trubisky and the Bears. I have a feeling it's in Chicago. Mitch Trubisky's playing at home. I think it's his first or second home game. I'm going to go with the Bears in this one. I'm going to put my faith in them.
Thank you for that. I went with the Panthers. I think this is the perfect bounce-back game after that tough loss to the Eagles. Because the Bears are, I don't want to say shaky. They're beyond that. Trubisky might be one of the few bright spots on that team. Because as far as I can tell, they don't have a defense. Their offense is still a work in progress. Cam should just sit back and go under cruise control. It looks like Kelvin Benjamin's going to be playing, so that's going to be a huge pickup for that offense and a nightmare for that Chicago secondary. So, bounce back for the Panthers.
Kelvin Benjamin was in the lineup against the Eagles, and he did have a pretty decent game.
Was he?
Yeah, he was in.
Okay,
he had a couple good catches.
I didn't catch all of that game.
We go into an NFC West matchup, and I think this is a big NFC West matchup in a sense. Rams and the Cardinals.
Oh, it's huge. Every team in that division is in it except for the 49ers.
Yeah. Thank you. Adrian Peterson going to Arizona. Got traded last week. Had a big game last week.
45 carries.
And even
if I remember right.
And even Larry Fitzgerald said that if Adrian Peterson would have been with him earlier in his career, he would have already had a Super Bowl ring.
I think a lot of receivers could say that because early in Adrian Peterson's career, he was the best running back in the league. Now he's gotten older, slowed down a little bit. You can't really say that anymore. But could you imagine? Peterson has a 2-year deal. Can you imagine what that team could look like next year with David Johnson and Adrian Peterson on the same team? To me, that's a scary thought.
A lot of 2-back sets. Yeah. Split sets. They do a lot with that offense.
Yeah.
They can. I will agree with that. I mean, Adrian Peterson, if he gets a little more healthier than what he is, I mean, he'd be close to what Darren Sproles does.
You might as well say he's fresh. He touched the ball a total of like 45 times for New Orleans and didn't play at all last year for the most part.
But here's the thing, is they're going up against a pretty decently good Rams defense. And Jared Goff, you got to admit, Jared Goff is looking good week by week. Looking a little better week by week. Not looking bad. And Todd Gurley, he's not a bad running back.
No, I will never deny that.
Well, I'm definitely putting my faith in the Rams this week.
I went with the Cardinals just because Adrian Peterson looks to finally resurrect that offense. Carson Palmer doesn't have to do everything by himself anymore, which is going to take the pressure off Larry Fitzgerald, finally. And he can look like the Fitz of old, take the pressure off the other receivers on that squad. That addition of Adrian Peterson is going to be a big thing for this offense.
So let's move down to an AFC versus NFC matchup. We got the Bucs facing the Bills. I kind of want my instinct on this. Because of the fact that last week I know Jameis Winston got hurt. I don't know what his status is for this week. I don't know if he's playing or not.
He's going to play.
I haven't heard nothing. If you heard something, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I still went with the Bills. I have my faith in the Bills.
This was a hard one for me because the Bucs are struggling. The Bills. How many times have we seen the Bills get off to a good start and then right around mid-season part, close to where we are now, they start losing? Buffalo is to me at this point of the game, it's you don't really know what you have with them. You really never do. So I tried to take the safe pick and I went with the Buccaneers too. Or no, not two because you didn't go with them.
No, I didn't. I went with the Bills.
Oops, I know.
Well, we're going to move down to the AFC South, where the Jaguars and the Colts are playing. And I will say this, normally, and here's the thing is, Andrew Luck got snubbed. It was announced this week Andrew Luck got snubbed. He was possibly going to be coming back this week. They snubbed him. They said it's going to be a couple more weeks, possibly the rest of the season.
Yeah, his knee regressed. It's not going the right way.
So therefore, Brissett is going to take the start again. Like I said earlier in the show, the Colts did not look too bad against the Titans on the Monday Nighter, and then the Titans just kind of ran away with it. Mm-hmm. Progress for the Colts in a sense, not too much. Their defense didn't look too bad in that game. Jacksonville kind of puts me in a position of thought, and the reason why I went with the Colts, and I'm going with the Colts in this football game, but the reason why I'm taking the Colts is because Jacksonville is one of those win one, lose one teams. They win one week, they lose the next week. And last week, Jacksonville won.
Yeah, they did. So
they're set to lose this week. That's why I'm taking the Colts. Because they're set to lose this week. It's just the way I'm looking at it.
That's one way to go. I went with the Jaguars just because they're playing the Colts. And I said it a show or two ago, I'm fully on board with that Jacksonville defense. That defense is one of the best defense in the league this year. I never thought I would be saying that. But, even with Leonard Fournette being a game-time decision, they don't know if he's going to play. So, Chris Ivory is hopefully chomping on the bit to get some playing time. But it's going to be a big deal if they lose Fournette. Obviously, it'll put more pressure on Bortles. But yeah, I think even if Fournette doesn't play, they're playing the Colts, who don't have a quarterback, which is hurting that passing game. And the defense, I can't remember the last time Indianapolis had a defense. So, yeah, the Jaguars.
We're going to stick with one of the teams in the AFC South, where the Tennessee Titans are traveling to Cleveland to take on the Browns.
Don't do it.
The Browns.
Don't do it.
The Browns are in a do or die. They lose this week, they're done. Bottom line,
they were done the moment the season started.
I wouldn't say that. They didn't look too bad the first 3 weeks. I had some belief in them, but I don't believe in them in this game.
I had none.
I don't have belief in them in this game. I think Marcus Mariota and the Tennessee Titans are going to beat them. That's why I'm taking the Titans.
Copying my picks again?
Well, we had 5 straight games picked different. I think I had to go with the Titans in this one.
Yeah, I went with the Titans too. They don't know who their quarterback is. This is a revolving door. Deshaun Kaiser is now the quarterback again. And as a franchise, you cannot start a different quarterback every single week.
Was that 23, 24 quarterbacks started for the Browns?
Since they came back, I think.
Since they came back, 24 starting quarterbacks.
And yet Colin Kaepernick still doesn't have a job. There's something wrong with this pitcher. But I'm not getting into that. That's a topic for another day. But, like I said, the Titans are playing the Browns. Come on now. Mariota's going to be loving this matchup. That's all I'm going to say. That Titans defense is going to be loving this matchup. Browns don't have a running game. They don't have a passing game. So, personally, I would have kept Hogan in there as the quarterback over Kaiser. But that's just me. I've never been a Kaiser fan. I thought he stunk in Notre Dame. But Titans all the way.
And you're pretty much saying that the Titans are going to have a field day against the Browns, which moves on to the next game, the 4 o'clocker, where the Cowboys are expected to have a field day against your San Francisco 49ers.
No, not expected to. They will. There was a glimmer of hope with the 49ers in this game. And I almost picked them as an upset when Ezekiel Elliott got suspended again. But then he got eligible to play again. The term for that just kind of slipped my mind there. I apologize. The suspension got thrown out the window. And that's all she wrote for the 49ers because Elliott's going to run all over them. Their running game's improved, but it's not improved enough. Prescott's going to pass on them. C.J. Beathard, I'm so happy you're starting. Hoyer needed to go. He never should have been on that team. And I said it at the beginning of the year. They should have kept Cap. If they were going to sign Hoyer and bring in Barkley, who they cut eventually, they should have kept Cap because he's better than both of those two. Maybe even combined. But it was what it was. You know, Cap knew he wasn't going to get a deal, so he opted out. He knew he wasn't going to play. But anyways, that's why I chose the Cowboys. The 49ers are just, I don't even know if they're worth taking anymore this year. So
So you're going with the Cowboys?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going with the 49ers.
Don't do it.
I'm going with the Niners in this one. I have no excuse for it.
Thank you.
I'm just going with the 49ers.
You just don't want to get almost burned alive again.
This is true.
Oh,
well, the thing is Eagles fans wouldn't burn me alive this week. And they haven't burnt me alive. I mean, we're in week 7, and the only part of my body that's burnt is my middle finger on my right hand. Because I made an English muffin earlier this week, and I kind of touched the toaster, and I have a burn on my right middle finger now, as you can kind of see there.
Flip off the camera.
I'm not. See, look, a burn on my middle finger.
That's great.
Speaking of burns, this next game might be a burn. A burner. The Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC North. Another huge matchup. I mean, I'll tell you what, when we have these division matchups, it just seems like every division matchup is huge. No matter what the teams are. Every division, in a sense, is kind of close.
Yeah, I can't argue that point. Maybe Green Bay and Chicago isn't important anymore. That's the only one off the top of my head that I can think of.
That's Minnesota-Detroit.
Oh,
Definitely
yeah.
a Minnesota-Detroit division.
Fully expecting Detroit to pull out of that division now, the winner.
And speaking of divisions, and I'm going to talk about a division towards the end of the show. We'll talk about a certain division at the end of the show.
Okay.
Hint, hint. But nonetheless, Bengals, Steelers. I mean, the Steelers last week giving the Kansas City Chiefs their first loss in a huge, huge game.
I can't believe that. They handed it to them, too.
A lot of big plays. A lot of big plays in that game. A lot of big plays that happened for the Steelers in that game.
Well, that's the thing with Alex Smith, and that's always been my beef with him. He's a game manager. If he falls behind by 2 scores, he's going to have a heck of a time catching up. He's not big play. He's not a big play guy.
Well,
he never has been.
Even on Thursday night against the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders had opportunities.
Yeah, I mean...
The Kansas City defense just gave it to him.
Yeah.
Kansas City's defense gave it to him. And that's what gave the Raiders the win. And the Steelers gave the Kansas City Chiefs their first loss.
Yeah,
which led to a trend of the Chiefs losing 2 in a row. I'm going with the Steelers in this game. I think this is going to be a huge game for the Steelers. The Bengals may have a new offensive coordinator. They may have been shining on offense. But honestly, sometimes that only lasts for a week or 2.
I completely agree.
It sometimes does. That's almost like having a new quarterback. Oh, we're going to put a new quarterback in there. He shines a game or 2 or 3, and that's it.
Yeah, once the tape gets out.
Yeah. But I think the Steelers are going to start bouncing. The weather's getting colder, and this is when the Steelers really start to pick themselves up.
I completely agree.
So I'm going with Pittsburgh in this game.
I went with Pittsburgh too. I mean, look at their division. Cleveland doesn't have a shot. Baltimore, you might as well cross them out. They're struggling. So that just leaves the Bengals and the Steelers. And half the year, the Bengals have looked shaky. There's no reason that the Steelers cannot win this division. There's none. They should win this division outright. So now it's time for them to prove that, and I think it starts with the Bengals. I really do.
And ladies and gentlemen, for I believe the first time this season, no, this is the second time this season, I think. And the second time this week this is happening. An NFC East versus an NFC West matchup. We got the Seattle Seahawks, and John's favorite part of the show. We got the Seattle Seahawks taking on...
Take it home!
The New York Football Giants.
See, I can't do it as well as he can.
Again, the New York Football Giants. Giants got a win last week.
Who saw that coming with all their receivers out?
I don't know.
Seriously.
They got the win.
What happened to Denver?
I mean, you look at it, they had Sterling Shepard, Brandon Marshall, and Odell Beckham Jr. all out for the year.
And Shepard might not even play this week.
And you have guys who played like a combined... All those guys played a combined of like 100 some odd, 200 some odd games. Combined. In their careers. And then you have guys that come in and played a total of like 39 games.
Yeah.
And fucking Eli lit it up with them. Had a great game.
I did not see that coming. I was utterly shocked.
Yeah. But they're playing the Seahawks this week.
Yeah.
So, I'm going Seattle. I'm taking the Seahawks.
I'm going with Seattle too, even though that it's in New York. I think this is the week where the lack of talent on offense becomes realized more. And especially since Seattle knows that the Rams, I believe the Rams are leading that division.
The Rams are leading the NFC West.
But I expect them to fall off at some point. I don't think that'll last. I think the West is going to come down between Seattle and Arizona, especially with Adrian Peterson looking to re-energize that offense. So Seattle, obviously the players and Pete Carroll know this. They know they have to come in and just win and shut down the Giants. It's not an important game for the Giants, but I think this is an important game for the Seahawks just because of how close that division is. So Seattle's going to go in and take care of business and do what they have to do. And the last 4 p.m. game puts the Denver Broncos against the Los Angeles Superchargers.
Sorry, I'm doing something.
And I went with the Chargers in this just because I don't know what to think of the Broncos. Was it just a bad game? For them, I hope so last week. And I don't know. Like I said, I really don't know what to think about them. I'm hoping Phillip Rivers, despite Denver's secondary, they have a great secondary, can pass on them, can get Keenan Allen in the game, can get his tight ends in the game. Melvin Gordon, they're going to need to rely on him because Denver's secondary is no joke. They have one of the best secondaries in the league. I think it'll overcome it, hopefully. So I'm actually going with the upset pick this week of the Chargers over the Broncos.
I'm going with the Broncos. I think that defense is just going to shut down Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is a flop this year. He's kind of taking things in reverse. Kind of. Like normally hold on. He starts off good and then does this. He's doing this right away and trying to do this, and it's just not happening. And Trevor Siemian,
he's flopping.
He's stepping in some type of dog shit for this team to win football games.
Yeah.
I went Denver in this game. I have nothing more to say about this game.
That's the safe pick.
You had a lot more. I'm sorry, I was doing something.
I know, I covered.
You covered this.
I covered.
Because I was just going to say I'm going with Denver.
I didn't have a lot to say about this game, but I pulled something out of my butt to say.
So why don't we just move on to the Sunday Nighter with the rematch of the Super Bowl from last year. The GOAT of the NFL, Mr. TB12, and the New England Patriots, taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Huge rematch from last year in the Super Bowl. Falcons had that game last year. And then Mr. TB12 came in. Overtime. And that was it.
Truth be told, TB12 won that game because of poor clock management on Atlanta, hands down. That was bad coaching.
Well, Atlanta also took their foot off the pedal. They did. They took their foot off the gas pedal in the second half. They did. They should have never did that because you can't take your foot off the gas pedal against the New England Patriots. You just can't. Nope. Everybody knows this shit.
They didn't. They do now.
Well, now they know. And that's why I'm going with Atlanta in this football game. I think this time around, Atlanta is not going to take their foot off the gas pedal. That's the bottom line.
See, I want the opposite. I want the Patriots in this game, especially since it's in New England. So there is a definitive home field advantage in this one. Not like a Super Bowl where they played at a neutral site. But Brady's, you call him the GOAT. So, I mean, let's see them. Let's see him manage this game. I think they can. As shaky as that offense has looked at times. And yeah, Brady's not having a year like he normally does. And injuries are a part of that. But I think they can beat the Falcons. I really do. I think if it was in Atlanta, I probably would go the other way. But this is just one of those matchups between two good teams where I think it's going to come down to home field advantage. I'm just going to be completely honest and throw that out there.
Well, nonetheless, we move on to the Monday Night Football game. And I will say this. Come on, John, sing it with me. Ready? Here we go. That is right. The best team in the league right now, my Philadelphia Eagles, are going in on Monday night at home in the Link to take on and sweep. That is right. They are going to pull out the brooms and sweep their NFC East rival, Washington Redskins. I'm taking the Eagles in this matchup because I think Carson Wentz is going to have one big hell of a game. He is going to tear that defense apart. Josh Norman's out. They have a poor secondary. Their linebacking core is terrible, and their defensive line can't do jack. Carson Wentz is going to rip this team apart. I'm going to say that right now. And we are going to go out of this game, actually, I should say, at 6-1. Go in the next week.
Yeah.
On Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
6-1.
That's okay. And we'll go into
because next week, the true East versus West matchup happens. The Niners-Eagles. We should do something special with that show. We got to do something special with that show.
Yeah, we'll
figure something out. But I'm taking Philadelphia in this game, and I'm going to predict a score.
Uh-oh.
I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to soundly defeat the Washington Redskins. 35-7.
No way.
35-7.
No way.
Who are you taking, John?
I went with the Eagles. Even I wanted to go with the Redskins in this game. I really did. Because at the beginning of the season, I said that they would split this series, expecting Washington to win in Washington and Philadelphia to win in Philadelphia. It didn't happen, and I almost went with Washington just because this is a must-win game for them to stay keeping up with the Eagles. Because the Cowboys are in win one week, lose the next week mode. The Giants are just trying to win a game, maybe 2 or 3. But this is a huge division matchup. But in the end, I don't think that the Redskins have the firepower to keep up. I mean, Pryor hasn't done anything really. I don't really think Jordan Reed's done much this year. But I don't know if he's still playing hurt or what. But they just have too many questions in Washington. And that Eagles offense is a lot better than people expected them to be at the beginning of the year, and people gave them credit at the beginning of the year. So, do they have a long way to go? I think they do, especially with the possible exits next year. But this is not next year, this is this year. So, the Eagles should win this game. It wouldn't surprise me if they did lose it, especially since I originally said they'd split the series. But Yeah, look for Wentz to pass on him. I don't have much faith in the running game for the Philadelphia Eagles because I don't think they know who's going to start between Blunt and.
Blunt's the starter.
Is it Smallwood that's still trying to take carries from him?
Yeah, Blunt's the starter.
But he's got to actually do something. But they need to use him right, though. He's not an east-west runner. Blunt's north and south, straight at the line. You can't use him like Sproles. You just can't. That's why Murray didn't last in Philly.
I'm going to make one more prediction statistically. Zach Ertz, 2 touchdowns.
I could see that because Carson Wentz really likes throwing Ertz that ball, as he should. But I'm going with the Eagles.
This is what's going to happen.
He copied off of my pick again.
Torrey Smith, Alshon, and Nelson are all going to have touchdowns.
Maybe.
Ertz is going to have 2 touchdowns. Okay, so that puts us at 35.
Yeah, there's your 35.
Okay, so if the Eagles reach 42, it's going to be because LeGarrette Blount's going to score a touchdown.
I don't know, but I still think 35.
Every receiver and the tight end is going to have a touchdown and a 35-7 whoop ass on the Redskins this week. We are going to pull the brooms out, be 6-1 going in against the San Francisco 49ers, and we'll go in and whip their ass the following week and be 7-1 going in against Denver.
You should. Everybody should be whooping the 49ers' ass. But this is a trap game for you.
With that being said, I will say this right now: the Eagles' best team in the league, and obviously the NFC East is theirs. You got to give it to them.
Oh yeah, unless they have a monumental collapse like they did last year, then yeah.
Well, with that being said, me and Johnny H have a couple games in differentials, and this is how I usually close it out. Obviously, we had the Thursday nighter, the Chiefs and the Raiders. Raiders won that game. That gave me 1 game in, being down by 17 now.
Yeah.
We got the Jets and the Dolphins, where I took the Dolphins, Johnny H took the Jets. Panthers, Bears, I took the Bears, he took the Panthers. Cardinals, Rams, I took the Rams, he took the Cardinals. Bucs, Bills, I took the Bills, he took the Bucs. Jaguars, Colts, I took the Colts, he took the Jaguars. Cowboys, Niners, I took the Niners, he took the Cowboys.
Thank you.
Niners fans, set them on fire. You don't have to set me on fire this week, Eagles fans.
Hey, the Niners fans are in the same boat as me. We want to lose.
Broncos, Chargers, I took the Broncos, he took the Chargers, and the Falcons, Patriots on Sunday Night Football. I took the Falcons, he took the Patriots.
Really? How is a rematch of the Super Bowl not the Monday night game? That's just my thinking there.
Well, that's because Carson Wentz.
No, but it's the rematch of the Super Bowl.
Exactly, and the Super Bowl's on a Sunday.
That should be the Monday nighter.
Come on. This guy. It should be on a Monday. Rematch of the Super Bowl, which is played on a Sunday.
That doesn't matter.
Should be on a Monday night. Okay, so you would rather hear the Monday night crew call a Super Bowl rematch over...
The Monday night game is supposed to be the primetime matchup of the week.
It is Sunday Night Football. Sadly enough, they have to go up against the Return of the Walking Dead, WWE TLC.
I don't think they're worried about that, the WWE TLC. Maybe The Walking Dead, just because of the all-out war is about to start. But
And the 100th episode.
Yeah.
So, there we have it. Again, Return of the Walking Dead this Sunday. WWE TLC, for those of you who are WWE fans. A lot of good football this Sunday.
Yeah, you got that right.
A lot of good action happening Saturday night here tonight as we're recording, and John's going to get this up. But right now, Penn State is up 35-13 on Michigan.
Yeah.
It was a game I was anticipating to watch, and that's why I'm watching it. But it looks like Penn State, the number 2 team in the nation, is going to get this win. Mm-hmm. But yeah, as I like to always say, and I don't have a rant this week. For those of you who watch me on Facebook, I usually have a rant. I don't have a rant this week. No rants whatsoever. So with that being said, John, do you have anything in closing?
You know what? I do have something in closing. And this kind of annoys me, being a 49er fan. There is no way in hell Colin Kaepernick should not have a job in the NFL. When you have teams like the Browns who are rotating their quarterbacks every week, and the Packers who just lost their quarterback, the Colts who had to trade for their quarterback while their quarterback comes back, and the Vikings who are relying on a third stringer. Okay, there is no way in hell Colin Kaepernick should not have a job. And for the NFL to blackball him, is completely ridiculous. And yeah, he filed a grievance about it. No. But he filed a grievance about it, and nothing's going to come of it. And I understand that. But the fact of the matter is, I would take Colin Kaepernick over Jay Cutler, Hogan and Kaiser, Brett Huntley,
Jacoby Brissett.
Yep, Jacoby Brissett, Case Keenum, Simeon. I would take Kaepernick over Simeon and Paxton Lynch. I would take him over Josh McCown of the Jets.
Andy Dalton.
No, I wouldn't take him over Andy Dalton. I would take him over Jared Goff.
You wouldn't take him over the Ginger Snap?
No. As inconsistent as he plays, I wouldn't take him over him. I'm trying to quick run down the list of teams right now and their quarterbacks in my head. I would take him over Tyrod Taylor. And for now, I'm going to leave it at that because, yeah. But it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And then you can say, oh, well, he opted out of that deal. He opted out of that deal because he knew he wasn't going to play. That's why he opted out of that deal. This is the guy who threw 16 touchdown passes and only 4 interceptions. That's a 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. That's pretty damn good. And he can run. He's not the best at reading defenses, but he doesn't turn the ball over. Come on. To me, it's ridiculous. And all you idiots can burn your jerseys and refuse to watch the games. But you know what? I don't care. The NFL doesn't care. You're not proving anything.
With that being said, I will say this. I was at work when I was at work this week. I was delivering. I went on delivery to a place where I talk to this guy about football every time I see him. And I said, how about them Eagles? And he goes, oh, I don't care. I said, why? Because your 49ers aren't doing good? Because he's a 49ers fan.
Yeah.
And he said, no, I don't watch because they kneel.
You realize they started this in the 90s. This isn't something they've done forever. Okay? There were years upon years upon years that they did not do this in the NFL. And nobody gave a shit about it. Seriously.
And if you think of it initially, Tim Tebow started doing it.
Yes, he did.
It wasn't Kaepernick.
But it was okay for Tebow to do it.
No, it wasn't.
Because he was showing respect to God.
Yeah,
and as a Christian, I supported that. Okay? I supported Tebow doing that. And there's a better way for Kaepernick to do this. I will be the first to say that. But it is a peaceable protest that is completely legal and within the guidelines of the NFL. And for the owners to do that, it's just to blackball him out of the league. It's just freaking ridiculous. Okay? It's completely unprofessional. But I'm just going to leave it at that. So,
Johnny H. with the rant this week.
Yeah.
Very well said. I agree with everything he's talking about. As many of you heard my rant, I agree with him. With that being said, everybody, enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy the NFL.
Yes.
Good luck to your teams. If they win, awesome. If they lose, I'm sorry, as I always say. Again, Return of the Walking Dead this weekend. WWTLC for those of you WWE fans. We got the start of the World Series coming up. The Los Angeles Dodgers. As far as it's looking right now, the Houston Astros are up 4-0 in the 7th inning.
Jason Petrucci, cry, Yankees, cry. Don't forget my $20.
So it looks like it might be the Dodgers and the Astros, but they're still the bottom of the 7th and beyond to go. So, with that being said, everybody enjoy your week. Everybody enjoy your Sundays. We will see you guys back here Friday night on the couch. I'm Bigtime Mike. This is Johnny H. Out. See you next week.